issue here, student debt now is about a huge $15 billion. Should students be arrested at the airport if they're not paying back their student loan? That's what I want to know. What do you reckon?
Absolutely,
Māori Party.
Absolutely not. This is home. And if a student wants to come home, they should be allowed to. They shouldn't be arrested in their own backyard. I'm not for that. But actually, the bigger issue here is that more investment needs to be made into tertiary education, so student loans aren't actually necessary.
Okay, what about you, Nevada? What do you think?
I absolutely agree. I don't think anyone should be arrested coming back to the country that they got the loan in the first place.
But they need to pay back their loan, right?
Yeah, they need to pay it back, but
they're not. They're not paying back their loan.
But I think the bigger issue is that how unaffordable tertiary education is at the moment.
That's right.
But how about Well, have you got a student loan?
I do have a student loan.
How much?
It's about $40,000.
$40,000.
Absolutely, yeah.
What's yours?
So about the same.
And how are you paying it back?
Well, good luck.
Very slowly.
Really?
Oh, come on now.
Okay, what about you, Joel?
Yeah, look, people should absolutely be picked up at the border if they haven't paid their student loans. You couldn't skip the country on your credit card or your mortgage or your fines for parking. And we pick those people up if they haven't paid. So absolutely they should be picked up. You take out the loan, you pay it back. It's that simple.
What about the big...
That just shows the lack of priorities by the national government. I mean, instead of investing in money into funding tertiary education, they're putting up expensive and punitive measures to punish those students.
Look, I'm sorry.
We could be investing in free tertiary education and you're not. Your priorities are wrong.
The average student loan today is just over $14,000. And that's an investment in your own future when you take it out, because your average earnings 5 years after graduating a bachelor's are 46% higher.
What's your loan, Joel?
My loan's $65,000.
65 grand?
Yep.
Are you not worried about that? How old are you?
I'm 22. I've nearly finished a 5-year degree.
Holy
and I'll pay it off with my future employment.
Okay, Connor, what do you make of that? 65 grand, 22, no worries. He'll get a good job, pay it off.
With regards to existing debt, New Zealand First Loan policy to address people like Joel's debt, we have a dollar-for-dollar write-off scheme. So if Joel stays in the country and works in an area of need, every dollar that he earns will get written off as student debt. Nice. This is going to be good because it's going to keep the investment that we've actually already put in Joel, because we've paid for 2/3 of his loan.
It's so kind of you, Connor.
And then also he's paying tax revenue in our country instead
of
going overseas.
What are you saying?
Yeah, that doesn't really answer the question.
It does. If you're asking what we should be doing with Joel's student debt, we should, if he's going to work somewhere where we have a skill shortage, if he works in that industry, every dollar that he earns in that industry should be written off that student debt.
Okay, hands up. Anybody in the audience who's got a higher student loan debt than $65,000? Anybody, hands up. There's one over here. Hey, Ali, there's one person here.
Right. Large student loan. Yep. How do you feel about that?
Oh, you know, I mean, it's not great, but also I know that because of my degrees, I have a much higher earning potential than I otherwise would. So when I started my degree, I knew approximately how much it was going to cost, and as everyone else who takes out a loan does, I looked at it, thought, is this investment worth it? And it was for me.
Depends what job you go into afterwards, though, because Universities New Zealand did some research on this, and for some people, it was an extra $1 million over their working life, but for others, it was only $1,000 a year in the lower paid section. So, yeah, it really depends where you're going into. So should those people going into those lower paid jobs miss out?
Well, I mean, if you do like a history degree or a gender studies degree, you know that's not going to get you a super great job.
Wow.
Sorry. So I did a law and economics degree because I knew that it'd get me a well-paying job.
All right, well,
so you're just laying down the cold, hard facts.
Okay.
Sorry,
let's go to Hannah, the ACT person. There's a young ACT in the audience as well.
Yes, Hannah Monaghetti. Welcome to the show, Young ACT.
Great to be here.
Tell me, what's your stance on this?
I think students have it pretty good today. I mean, the taxpayers are already subsidising 3/4 of the cost of our tertiary education. It's not unreasonable to expect students to back themselves that last quarter.
That's right.
But being arrested at the airport?
They've ripped off the taxpayer. They have to come back. They've got to repay their loans. It's that simple.
Okay.
Applause. A smattering of applause.
All right, what do you make of that, Nevada? I mean, if you're doing gender studies or history...
I think we should be valuing education, no matter what form it comes in.
But
valuing all types of education, no matter what you study.
It's easy to say, though, isn't it? But if you want to get a good job, you've got to get the right sort of qualifications, don't you?
And that's what you're going to university for, is to get the right type of qualifications. And you're coming back to the country. to pay off their debt.
Okay, what do you make of this, Elijah? What do you make of that?
I totally agree with the fact that students should have a commitment to pay the student loan back regardless. That's okay. But I also support Nevada here. We should be encouraging our students to take up what they are interested in and what they're committed to. But they should also study a variety of disciplines so that their ability to get a job, maybe not as a lawyer or an engineer, is possible.
All right, let me ask you around the panel then, what about this? Should the government, this is $15 billion, okay? This is massive amounts of money. We're in a bit of a hole here. Should the government, Ricardo, just wipe the debt? Yes or no?
Yes, that's a good
Yes.
question. And the thing is, there
And
is
your
money
answer?
that the government is not collecting from multinationals
yes
that we
to-
could be using to not only forgive that debt, but to fund free tertiary education. Again, the national government doesn't have its priority right.
Should the government just wipe the debt, New Zealand first? Connor?
No, it should prioritise. So
So
should,
no.
it should wipe off some debt. So if you're staying in the country and doing something that is of value to the country, so we
Like
already-
what? Like what?
Education, say in the given year that we don't have enough teachers, and that's on the skills list for our immigration policy. We'd use the same list and go, if you're working in teaching and it's on the skills list, every dollar that you earn gets written off your
Joel,
loan.
it's only going to get worse. $15 billion. Should we start again? Wipe the debt?
No, clearly not. Why would we do that when people have signed up to take out the loan and the agreement that they'll pay it back? And furthermore, where would the money come from? It's going to come from you and me out of our
That's the
tax
problem,
anyway.
Joel. They're not paying it back. That's
Well,
the
they are.
issue.
The $15 billion of debt, most of that is paid back. And since the government brought in slightly harsher enforcement measures, calls to the IRD, calls to from overseas have gone up, and the number of repayments has gone up too. So the money is coming back in.
What about you? Should the government just start again, wipe the debt? Nevada, Young Labour.
In a perfect world, they should.
And in the now world?
In the real
would
world.
Labour do that?
I'm not sure. Probably.
Would you like it to?
I would like them to.
All right, okay. Elijah, what about you?
Absolutely not. We need to teach, we need to be taught a bit of self-commitment here. We studied, we took some money from the government, we need to give it back. But actually, we need to think about the 60% of borrowers who are in Australia. We need to improve the facilitation between paying from overseas places. It's not good enough and it needs to be improved.